So the first time I ever laid eyes on Ado DeVart was when we had our rehearsal with him when we were flirting with each other to see if he was our next music director and for him to see if we were his next orchestra.
Yes, it was a surprise. I mean, the notice, it wasn't a surprise on that day, as I recall, but, it was like a couple weeks we kind of knew and were told, let's keep it quiet. And it was pretty clear that he was being considered for a position.
There was a lot of chemistry already, even on the first rehearsal, first reading of a piece. So I kind of knew from the start that, there was tremendous potential.
That rehearsal for me was a little odd on a lot. I mean, it was odd for everybody, but for me it was particularly odd because I was probably the only person in the orchestra that had actually worked with Ado a number of times before in Holland, many years before. And here he was in Milwaukee, and so we always had a good rapport, and I was thrilled that he was here just to even do one rehearsal.
He came in and he was very reasonable and at the same time very demanding, but he was demanding of the right things, and I was like, this is good. I like this. This is like, he's asking what I would like to see conductors ask.
He's done so many wonderful things for the orchestra as far as our ensemble playing, our ability to listen across the stage and in somewhat difficult acoustic circumstances sometimes, and our ability to sort of balance each other, which was something that we needed his guidance with when he came, and he's so good at that.
His background was as an orchestra musician, and he retains a lot of that desire that orchestra musicians have to play cleanly, to play together. It matters to him more than it matters to most conductors, and that's what really caught me the first. It's like, this is a guy that really wants to hear it together. When he came and started working, it was like, this is wonderful.
I think a great conductor with with the right chemistry with a certain group is able to do that on a consistent basis without a whole lot of effort. He wants us to be at our best and invites you to do that. It's a sort of alchemy in a way. And it started really with that rehearsal. I remember, everybody, even at the intermission of those rehearsals, it was just not much of a discussion at that point.
And now the orchestra in the last, 8 years has really sort of come to a whole nother level of not just playing with him, but I've noticed that when he's actually not here conducting, that the orchestra plays as if he is. I think that's, going to be a great legacy for Ado, is that he left us that ability to listen better, to tune better, to balance each other better, and to play more cohesively as an ensemble without giving up all the musical and exciting things that you want to do spontaneously in a performance. So, as a musician who's been here before Ado and during Ado and now after Ado, that's going to be really a very important and lasting mark that he will have left on the orchestra.
I've been doing this for over 40 years now, and this last 7 years it's been the most gratifying 7 years of my orchestral career, I think. Just to see the orchestra play so well and Ado push us so hard to grow, and see the orchestra responding and all the wonderful performances. It's been great.